Oh, okay, okay. Now, at what point did y'all connect with Priority when he got the big deal? Was you still around at that time?
Well, yeah. So I was part of the conversation with priorities. So at that time, P was like, look, every record company was kind of coming at us. I was working at a deal to try to do something with RCA because Van Silk had connected us with RCA Records, but they didn't want to come up. They didn't want to do the distribution because we were asking for very little money to put these projects out, and they didn't quite understand it. They didn't understand our sound. So at that time, Master P, we went to New York. We met with Big Beat Atlantic, Craig Coleman, and those folks at Big Beat Atlantic. P was about to sign with those guys. So he was like, well, okay, I'm going to sacrifice the Master P name so we can blow up No Limit. We're going to put all our money into Silk the Shocker. That's kind of was the plan. So King George and C Murder, all these guys are excited because it's about $750,000 to, cash money up front to put this project together. And they're all excited and thinking like, man, we're going to blow this thing up. But the percentage was so low, and they could tell, like, even if P wanted to rap on Silks the Shockers album on No Limit Records, he wouldn't be able to do it because they own the rights to the name and likeness of Master P. So I said, well, we're not doing that. But he's like, well, man, I'll sacrifice and we'll do this. And I was like, nah, we're not doing that. I said, we're selling a lot of records. We're getting our name out there. We don't need to sign a deal. And this is something that most people don't realize. And the people that know this story, they realize they know it. There's some people that were around that understand that. But P was about to sign an artist deal because he wanted to take that money in that funnel to go put that money into No Limit Records. He was just going to sacrifice himself for that. I said no. I said it was crazy. I remember vividly C Murder and King George literally wanted to beat me up because they thought I was crazy and I was messing everything up. But we held out. So we dropped the West Coast Bad Boys and we were hot. Then we came back and dropped the 99 Ways to Die, which was like, it got on Billboard charts and it was blowing up. At that particular time is when that album, that's when that album kind of blew up and then people wanted to do deals. So then at that time, the transition, which was really good, is like we realized if we wanted to be a global label, we couldn't just be a West Coast sound. So folks like KLC, Moby Dick, Servon, Mia X, those folks were the ones that took the label to the next level because of the sound was completely different. So we were doing the Down South Hustlers. You can't do a Down South Hustlers without having a Down South sound. So we were doing a couple of records here and there. P is from the South. But until we got KLC and Moby Dick, then we eventually Carlos Stevenson and then Craig B and all these guys that made the Beats by the Pound, that's when things kind of really took to the next level. So we were like a regional success, selling hundreds of thousands of records. People knew who we were. But when we hooked up with Beats by the Pound, that's was and prior to even Beats by the Pound, so Moby Dick and KLC and Servon and Mia came to the West Coast, and we put them up in an apartment, and they just kept grinding and working, grinding and working. And that's the thing that people don't realize. That was the level when they came out to the West Coast and said, and we knew we needed that sound that they had. It just took things to the next level and made No Limit what? When people think about No Limit, that thing does not happen without Moby Dick, KLC, Servon and his relationships, and then Mia X. That's what really took No Limit to the next level.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. We ain't seen no production like that since. That was the
And
pinnacle
you
of Beats by
probably,
the
yeah,
Pound. That
you
was the
won't.
hardest.
I mean, you got to
Mhm.
understand the way we were dropping albums and the way that KLC and Moby Dick worked. It was like some next level thing, man. They were grinding and putting projects, they were putting beats together consistently. And that sound that they had was just incredible. I mean, it was just next level. And that's the thing. When you think about Beats by the Pound and all of the different sounds and how they did things, it was just, like I said, it was just next level.
Man, you dropping some hip hop history on them. I appreciate that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how long did you stay at No Limit? Like, around what time did you leave No Limit?
So I came on board 92 and then I left. It was 96. So it was about 4 years going on 5 years, but from the time that I started to the time that I actually left No Limit. So during that time was kind of building the foundation, putting together the West Coast Bad Boys, putting together TRU, the Down South Hustlers, the Ice Cream Man, Mia X's album, you know, starting the foundation of Servon's album, like all of those things we were doing. So kind of when I starting the I'm About It process and putting that project together and the movie and all that stuff. And then at that time I transitioned out, we split up.
Okay.